What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Dope Life Podcast, the dopest podcast ever. And of course, your host, Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach, the dopest life coach ever. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you never miss another episode. And if you could be oh so lovely and dope and leave us a rating and a review, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it so our podcast can get out to dope individuals just like yourself. Welcome, man. This is 2026. I'm so excited that you're here and you're ready to start the new year off with a bang. So today's episode is something near and dear to me. It's a plan that I've been using for quite some time, and I want to share with y'all. This is how you're going to build a weekly formula for success, because at the end of the day, there's 52 weeks in the year, 365 days in the year. I don't know how many hours are in a year. I can't calculate that right at the top of my head. But what I do know is the small steps always build a longer and fulfilling and successful path. Every brick that you lay down is needed and necessary for you to align with where you want to go. So today's episode is dedicated to you. You are going to set up a weekly plan of how you're going to have success by the end of 2026. So grab a piece of paper, grab a notepad. If you are at work or something and listening to this, then save this episode and come back, listen to it, get some gears running in your head and come back. And and then you could break it down and be more successful than you ever could imagine going into 2026. You feel me? We're not just going to shrink ourselves. We're not going to just allow things to slide. We're going to work on a program that is going to help us get to where we want to go. So let's waste no time. Let's get right into it. So a lot of times when we think about success, it's obviously the opposite of what we think failure is. And I think we think failure is the end of everything. And it's oh my gosh, I'm failing and it's not working the way I wanted to. But the truth is, failure is part of it too. There's nobody that you look up to that is successful that has not had moments of things just not working and going as planned, right? And people don't fail because they're not talented. And people don't fail because they're not smart. What happens is their weeks have no structure and they're not following a strategy. Now, they're also not open to being flexible with adjusting the strategy when life hits you and you got to adjust it a bit so that you can still act accordingly towards your goals. And if we learned anything in 2025, that 2026 is going to change rapidly. There's so much uncertainty, whether it's in the job market, just living, period. And a lot of us are feeling a bit overwhelmed. So this is why I say that you cannot just allow your weeks to pass by as like good vibes only. Don't get me wrong. You're going to take care of yourself. You're going to practice self-care. But you got to be really intentional with the weeks that you're given. So as I said before, I'm going to give you a weekly formula that you can follow. It's simple and it's repeatable with the rhythm of how to help you and keep you grounded. It's productive and it's aligned even when life gets a little bit chaotic, which it happens, right? So this episode is meant for you to change and how you move weekly. So let's talk about the truth here. A lot of people plan their dreams, but they don't plan how their week or their day-to-day will look like. They're already talking about recession and that we're in it. Inflation is high. Cost of goods are even higher than what they were before. We have so many distractions. And on top of all of that, burnout is everywhere. Everyone seems as if they're busy, quote unquote, but they're not progressing. And that could be just because of strategies and steps that they're taking. I don't care what anybody says. You need to have a strategy. You need to have a formula in the way that the world, the climate of the world is. And a few ways that a lot of people get stuck is that they have no weekly direction. For example, you get up on Monday or wherever your Monday lands on, and you just kind of react to whatever is going on. Whatever email, whatever call, whatever duty that you got to get done, whatever responsibility that could come up, that becomes your priority more than what it is that you are trying to aim towards and go. Another thing is that we bombard ourselves by trying everything in a day or everything in a week. No, you don't honestly have to do that, because what builds up with that is guilt and shame. And ultimately, the goal that you set, you just shut down completely. And what that could ultimately lead to is you having unproductive weeks because you haven't even taken a step back and reviewed what's working and what's not working. Because at the end of the day, if you don't look back at what's working, what's not working, you're going to stay in a constant cycle. You're going to stay in constant loops. And this is why we're going to break it down in the weekly success formula, where it takes your big goals and it breaks it down into actionable steps. Now, step one, you're going to think about one weekly focus, just one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight, nine, or 10, just one weekly focus. Step two, what are 3 things that you could do to move the needle to get towards your goals? So when you think of 3 things that you can do right now in this week that will get you closer to your goals. Step 3, I want you to think of like an energy ritual. What is the thing that brings in good energy for you? And step 4, and this one is so important, should never be missed. Do a weekly reset. Look back at your week and think of the things that worked, didn't work, and what you need to adjust. Flexibility is needed in this season. Openness is needed in this season. Now let's break down each part with examples and practical tips that you can use in today's world, because the world is loud, the economy is stressful, and a large amount of us are all overwhelmed. You need clarity and not chaos. So I want you to ask yourself, and you can write this down in a journal and you can answer it later if you need to just take a moment to think about it. If you could accomplish just one thing this week that moves you closer to who you are becoming, what would it actually be? So if you could accomplish one thing this week that moved you closer to who you are becoming, what would it be? Would it be prioritizing your mental health? Would it be prioritizing your physical health? Would it be prioritizing rest? What would it be? And a way you could do that also is asking yourself, what do I need? And being honest with yourself. What it is that I really and truly need right now. And if it's a cheeseburger, then get yourself that cheese. So, for example, let's say mental health is the one thing that you want to focus on this week. What are your 3 steps that you're going to take to get towards that weekly focus? Maybe it's journaling 10 minutes a day. Maybe it's walking for 20 minutes. Maybe it's just standing outside to getting nice fresh air. Or maybe it's like 1 hour of no phone and it's in another room and you're not paying attention to it and you're doing other things with that time. And the thought process is, if you do these 2 things, that means your week was a success. Now, previously I mentioned energy, having like some form of like an energy ritual. Let's talk about that for a moment. This is the part that most of us tend to forget because your success requires capacity. Your energy rituals will build capacity in a world that drains you. So, for example, maybe you need to do a Sunday night reflection, maybe a Sunday night bath. Maybe it's something where you need to go to the gym twice a week or have some sort of like class, yoga, Pilates, join a basketball team, or I don't know, play a round of golf. Maybe you need to start setting boundaries with yourself and no longer have social media 1 hour before you go to bed. I'm working on that. We need to get back into therapy or looking at other options that provide free therapy. And I don't mean ChatGPT. Maybe you need to have more time alone, just you. Or maybe you need to start leaning more into your foundation. I want you to start thinking about your rituals, not just like a luxury item. It's maintenance. You have to do it. It's like, again, the prescription before the prescription. Instead of you having like a list of 100 things that you need to get done, you just got 3. You just got 3. That alone should make your shoulders just drop. It creates predictable momentum, something that you can actually keep up with. Small steps, big results, confidence, consistency. It aligns with how humans actually change, not with pressure, but with rhythm and alignment and intention. And also protects your mental health. Using this formula will strip away from you from setting yourself from unrealistic expectations. Now, I don't know about you, but this is success to me. It's sustainable, it's grounded, it's simple, and it's aligned. Now, you're probably wondering, Coach, how do I set myself up for this week? How do I make this work? Well, don't worry, I got you. First thing you're going to do, you're going to write one weekly focused. Remember, just one. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to choose 3 needle movers, 3 things that's just going to start getting the needle moving. And the third thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your energy ritual. And last and not least, this one I told you is exceptionally important. Schedule your weekly reset. In fact, by the end of this podcast, put it in your calendar. Miss that, put it in your calendar. All right, y'all. If this episode hits you in any way, shape, or form, I want you to share it with somebody else that you could think that they would find this useful. And if you listen to this on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, please hit that subscribe button if you're new to the podcast. And the comments below, type in, I'm locking in for 1 whole week. All right, y'all. I will see you next week. I appreciate you. I believe in you. And y'all know what to do. Walk with peace. Walk with love.